back to the Girls Who Get It podcast. I'm Sam.
I'm Julia.
Do you want to show the people your sweatshirt?
Oh, my little sweatshirt. We get up.
One of our new merch pieces. It's so cute. So should we announce? Should we wait to launch it?
No. Like, why
Okay.
wait?
Right. We've been talking about it for like weeks now.
I know, we're so excited, but we have a bunch of new little designs like this one. I'm wearing the crew neck. I think I got like a 2X for an oversized fit. I'm loving it. It's so cozy. I love our little wine club. We've got stickers, we've got tote bags, mugs. What else?
Stickers, tote bags, mugs, t-shirts, sweatshirts.
Yeah, like different style.
Different type. Yeah, we have like crew neck sweatshirts, we have hoodies, and the designs are so cute. I think you guys are gonna love them. I'm obsessed with all of them, and I'm pissed because mine is still on its way. It's still in the mail. I wanted to wear my new merch, but the one design like is hands down my favorite. The like ingredients, the nutrition
Oh yeah.
label, it is
We have
hilarious.
Yeah, we have a Girls Who Get It nutrition facts design, which was so fun. And we can't wait to see what your favorites are. But I love
Yeah.
all of them. When I was ordering, I was like, can I get one of everything? Or
I know. I
that's
want
really
one
cool.
of everything in every style and every design, every color. It's just all so cute. So we'll have a link to our merch store in the description, whether you're listening to the audio or you're watching the video. And it'll be on our
Yeah.
Instagram, in our Instagram bio as well. So if you
Yeah.
get some merch when it comes in, take a picture, tag us. We'd love to see you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I can't wait for everyone to see.
Yeah, hopefully
Um,
our mugs will get here by next week.
mhm.
So when we're recording the next episode, we can
We'll have more.
have our mugs. That can be our thing every time we record.
That's
Put some
kind of what
wine in there.
I know. Before I bought it, I was like thinking that's what I would do. And it's so funny we both got the same the
I know
same
it's going to
mug
be
design.
perfect. Any updates this week?
Not really. I mean, getting back into the flow after like holidays and stuff last week was a little chaotic because my sister and her husband and my nieces were visiting, and she works weekends now. So they got here Tuesday night. They were here Wednesday, Thursday, and then left Friday morning. So kind of an interesting timeline. I did take off a couple days to spend time with them, and we had a really good time. Um, and I got to
Nice.
see the house and hang out. It was nice. Definitely, I was thrown off though, because middle of the week was like, what's
Yeah, I was
happening?
going to ask if you were working during that time because that's hard to like still have to be in your normal work week
I
routine.
know. Luckily, I took off Wednesday and Thursday, thinking they were leaving on Thursday, but they ended up leaving Friday morning. I just left them a key, and I went to work Friday morning, and they took their time, packed up, and uh, we're on the road. But it was nice. They haven't been up to visit me since I bought my house, so I was excited for them to see. Of course, it was
Nice.
pretty cold, so couldn't really hang out on the deck or anything, but spring and summer, they'll be back, so
Yeah, do you have snow outside right now?
sure do.
I saw that
Yesterday,
the up north got a lot of snow.
yeah, I actually wasn't expecting it yesterday, so I went to work like whatever, just flurrying. And then I'm sitting at work, I'm like, wow, it's not stopping. And then work closed at 1:30 after it had been snowing all morning. And I was like on my way home, and the roads were trash, and it snowed way more than they said it was gonna. It was just kind of disgusting. But I made it home. I did slip and slide a little bit, but
That's
it
scary,
is what
but
it is. Yeah, it was scary.
Glad you made it home
Um,
safe. I figured though, because I was even down here, it's been like 40. So I'm like, I know it's
really,
probably freezing up there.
it's cold even for me, and I typically don't mind cold, but it's been like 20s. Actually, I also saw that our friend Anthony in Nashville got some snow too, which is
Oh,
not
wow.
very common. Yeah, so
Oh, that's cool. We didn't
something,
get any, but
no. Mm.
no, I'm okay with that though, because I I was kind of hoping it would snow when I was up in Pennsylvania, like around Christmas time.
Yeah,
Pretty nice. But now I am in like spring and summer, but like I'm ready for winter to come to an
right.
end soon. I'm like, all right, should be warming up soon.
I know. It's so funny you
So,
say that because I keep thinking like, oh, spring's coming. I'm like, no, like we still have a good chunk of January and all of February and probably
mhm.
half of March to get through before spring.
Oh
So
yeah, especially up there. I feel like it can stay cold until May.
yeah, my lovely little boyfriend is helping me build a pantry. And by helping me, I mean
Nice.
he's building it
He's doing it.
because I don't know how.
That's nice. Is he
Um,
there now?
mhm,
Oh, okay. And so
yeah,
is he coming over like every night? What's the deal?
pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
We're attached at the hip. That reminds me, I really loved last week's episode. I listened while I was at
Yay.
work.
Oh,
I
I'm
wish I could have
glad
been
that you
there.
liked it.
Yeah, it was so, I love Am I the Asshole stories. I think they're the best.
I know, I do too. Yeah, I feel like he did pretty good. He was a little bit nervous about making a debut, but I feel like he did good.
He's a natural.
Yeah. So maybe we'll have him back again when he's here in person. He's gonna be here for the summer, I think.
Oh, really?
So yeah.
That's exciting.
Okay, should we jump right in?
Let's get into it.
So this week
Um,
we are going to talk about bad experiences we've had as clients getting beauty services done, like our hair, nails, waxing, etc. Because like as licensed cosmetologists, even though you don't currently work in the beauty industry anymore, but
yeah.
like being on the other side of things, I I feel like you hear stories a lot from people, or I especially will see online, people are like, "Oh, well, I just like to do my hair at home myself because I've had so many bad experiences with hairstylists and they never know how to do my hair right and they always mess it up and blah blah blah
Yeah.
blah blah." So, I don't know, I just thought that it would be kind of interesting to share our own bad experiences.
There's a few that stick out. But I also feel pretty lucky. I didn't have too many like bad experiences.
That's good.
But
I mean, I haven't had anything like, I guess, super, super crazy, but I've definitely, I mean, there's a few that stand out in my mind. I feel like there's been numerous times when I was younger where I would go to get a haircut and they always would end up cutting off way more than what I asked for.
oh yeah.
Like, it seemed like it was pretty much every single time. It was very rare that I would go and get a haircut and I actually liked it, but
Hmm.
I was also, like, way too shy to say anything, and also, what are you supposed to say at that point? Like, the damage is already done, they can't put the hair back.
Right. Me and my mom and my sister, my mom took us to get haircuts and we went to I think it was like a cost cutters or something, like a chain. And I said I wanted bangs and I was probably like 14 or 15. And I'm not really sure what I told her I wanted, but it wasn't this style, like straight across.
Mhm.
I probably wanted something more wispy or like curtain bang like. Who knows if I told her the right thing or if I had pictures or anything, but I remember she cut straight across and it was like I don't know. I feel like my hair is weird. I don't think I have a cowlick or anything, but it doesn't lay quite right, so it just looked so bad. And my sister was still getting her hair cut, and I just went to the car and cried. And like, I don't know what happened after that. I don't think my mom said anything. She was probably just like, get over it. But it was upsetting.
That's traumatizing, especially when you're young. I feel like now if something got messed up or wasn't exactly how I liked it, I'd be like, okay, well, I would speak up, first of all. And also, it's not the end of the world. Like, it's
Yeah.
hair, it'll grow back. But as a kid, I don't know. It's like you're not as confident and
No.
knowing that like you have to go to school,
Yeah.
on Monday, and it's like, oh my God, people are gonna like talk about my hair, they're gonna make fun of me, say something about it.
I know. I've had a lot of ugly nails. I know that. Some of that's my fault. But recently, I don't have nails on, but I was getting them done. I started to do like French with like the color tip, which is
Mhm.
way out of my comfort zone. I usually just like neutral, flat color, not even sparkles, no shine. So for my birthday, I wanted like pink French tip. She wanted to put like the pink base. And I was like, no, like I think I just want like the natural nail color underneath and then the pink tip. And she was like, no, 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 this looks good. This looks good. And I was like, okay, I guess if this is what people do, go ahead and do it. They looked like Barbie nails. It was cute. It wasn't what I was going for, but I just let her do it. And then my friend ended up doing the same thing. And she walks over and hers were natural nail underneath, like what
What
I
you
wanted.
wanted. Yeah.
And next to hers, it looked like a straight up, just like bubble gum threw up on my nails. And I was like, oh,
Did
this
you
is
say
gorgeous.
anything?
I didn't want to sit there any longer than I already did. And I was like, it's cute, I guess. It's just like freaking pink. But then I guess I don't have luck with French tips because I went to get my nails done for Cass's wedding. Very major day. Like this set had to be good. And I get put with some guy I've never seen. Fine, whatever. He can probably do it. These were the worst nails I've had in like years for Cass's wedding.
Oh
And it was
no.
like they were thick because I got Gel X and they were thick and the shape was kind of off and I didn't say anything. I struggle with nails, speaking up with nails because they
Yeah,
gaslight you. They're like, no, 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 it's good. And I'm like, where? And then you pay $80 for
that's
like,
why I get so I don't really think I'm a super particular person, but with nails, it just makes me nervous because I've had so many bad experiences. So when I find someone that's good, I just always stick with them. I pre-book my appointments, I stay on a schedule because I am not going to risk that shit. I mean, yes, like if you're paying money, you obviously want what you want and you want them to look good, but for me, if they're doing my nails and they're too rough or they like file them way too much, it hurts.
it
And that's
literally
what I
hurts.
care about more than anything. Is like I don't want you causing me pain. So that
Yeah.
was a bad experience I had. This was back right before I moved actually to North Carolina. I was in Pennsylvania and I was hanging out with one of my friends and she was like, "Oh, do you want to come get your nails done with me?" So we ended up going to this place. It's like one of those places where I would go sometimes to get pedicures because I'm
Hmm.
like, that's basic enough. I trust them. But I had only gotten my actual nails done one other time there and it was not good. They were like very uneven and like bumpy.
Hate that.
But I was like, "Okay, I mean, if this is where you always go, like, I haven't been there in a long time, I'll give it another try." No, I don't even remember. I think at the time I was getting acrylic or like the hard gel, and some guy was doing them and he was so rough. And he just like when he was trying to drill like the previous stuff off, he went way too deep. It was
Yeah.
so painful, and my nails just looked so thin, and then he just glopped on the acrylic on top, and it was just
Oh,
not good, and then when I moved down here and I made my first appointment with my, like, my go-to nail girl now, she
Yeah.
was like, "Ooh, yeah, we need to fix these." And it
Like,
was
what happened?
it was so painful and it was such a process like growing them out
Well,
so that they could
yeah.
be like strong and healthy again. But yeah, and my nails like for years had been so good, so long, so healthy, strong, amazing. And then this one bad experience, they were just
Yeah.
completely destroyed. And I was like, oh.
That just reminded me, the same guy that did my really bad nails for Cass's wedding. I don't know if I mentioned this. I have a toe thumb. Here he is. He's different than my other one. Shorter, stubbier. Think Megan Fox club thumb, but this one's regular.
We call it
I
toe.
We call him Toe. We address him that way. Um, Maybe I'm weird in this. Every time I get my nails done, they try to match my short thumb nail with my tall thumbnail, which gives it about an extra freaking inch of nail, which I hate. It's so long, it looks obscene. It might match, but like all I can see is this nail hanging an inch off of my thumb. So pretty much every time I get my nails done, they're like, oh, like they're like either confused or they say something about it. And I usually tell them, just leave this one short because no matter what they do, I hate it. It might just be me. It might look good to other people, but I just want it short. So this guy that did this set, I guess I got tips put on for this because I hadn't had nails in a while. He put on this tip, and I'm not even lying to you, it was an inch long, if not longer. And I thought he was kidding. And I was like, oh, like I'm sh shorter, please. And he cuts a little bit off, and I was like, are are you kidding? Is this funny? Like shorter. I had to tell him to go shorter, like I kid you not, 8 times. He thought it looked good. I would have been walking around with a nail, like one nail, hanging an inch off my finger, toe,
Yeah,
and the rest like normal.
right.
I was like, are you okay? Who? And I'll tell you something. This nail salon I was going to, it was kind of out of my way, but they're usually really good and they take like a lot of care. My friend introduced me to this nail salon and she's very particular. She always had beautiful nails. I was like, perfect. Well, the amount of times I'd get stuck with like, I don't know if they were new, if they just, I'm not sure. It didn't seem to live up to the standards of the salon because the owner was always there. I don't think he ever took a second off. And whenever he did my nails, like perfect and beautiful. And then a couple of the times I was like, what is happening? Or what I also hated, I guess this is just like a salon um experience, like not necessarily bad, but I don't like it. He started my nails and sent me off to somebody else to finish them,
Mm.
which I know they do in hair salons too. I also hate that. That might be an unpopular opinion, but I like I know you're busy, but can't you finish my nails? Like, what the heck?
I agree. I also hate that.
I don't care where I am. Why can't Actually, I just saw a TikTok about this. Somebody was replying to a TikTok about how salons have kind of slowed down and they're not seeing the volume of people anymore. And someone replied to it and was like, I went to get a haircut and paid $100. That's not unheard of. Like, I know that. But she said that somebody shampooed her, somebody else cut her hair, and somebody else blow dried her.
Hmm.
Like, what is that? And I know it's probably assistance, just being in that position. That's probably what it is, but how annoying.
It just
Like,
feels so like unpersonal and it feels like you're just a number, another person on the like factory line and
yeah.
like the stylist just doesn't really care about you. They're just like, all right, like, I just want to get you in and out. And then it's like, who do you tip and how much do you tip each person? And
Then you have to tip multiple people because multiple, like, I remember when I was assisting And if I shampooed someone, me as an assistant, I'd be hoping for a tip, you know? But then
Yeah.
as the customer, you're thinking like, well, what the hell? I'm already paying a lot for the service. And then I'm tipping my stylist, and then I'm also tipping this other person. And now there's this third person in the mix. When I heard that, it reminded me of the salon I used to work at because that's something that bothers me about salon culture. And that's kind of why I got out of it, was because it's all hustle. Like you have to bust your ass and squeeze. And I know you said before you don't like to squeeze as many people as you can in for multiple reasons, but your client feels that. Your client feels you being pulled this way, like neglected, I could even say, because you're freaking hustling and trying to fit as many people as you can in, which is
And
great,
not to
more money.
say, like, sometimes there are those days where, like, something happens, somebody was just booked for, like, a shorter thing, and then they want something
Sure.
else, and you're running behind, whatever, like, sometimes you are kinda running around like a chicken with your head cut off, but it wasn't, like,
Yeah,
intentional or
yeah,
anticipated, but, yeah, there's a lot of stylists that's what their everyday looks like, and they do that on purpose because they are trying to just get as many people in that they
right.
can, and a lot of the girls that I work with now work that way too. They all have assistants. They will have at least 2 people minimum at a time. It
It's a
is a
lot.
lot. It is, and I mean, as a lot of clients don't seem to mind that.
Some people don't want to talk during their appointment. Some salons offer like silent appointments. You want to go and relax and not have these like same conversations over and over. But I noticed a lot of time working in those situations, like a lot of people do want to talk. And a lot of people will tell you a lot of things in the time of your appointment, whether it's, an hour plus for your hair or 15 minutes for a freaking Brazilian. Oh my gosh, the stuff people talk about, like they want to be talking. And it just makes me think of the salon that I was in. Like I was an assistant because they didn't really have it set up for me to be a stylist. And each one of them was booked two or three people at a time. And while one processed, the other was getting their highlights done, and I was washing them out, and I was putting their toner on, and I was doing the laundry, and I was getting their drinks, and I was mixing their glazes, and I was doing literally everything. And then I started answering the phone, then I started doing inventory. So I'm doing all this for minimal like tipping and pay. And then these stylists are getting like the, I mean, and they deserve it. Don't get me wrong, of course they deserve it. But it's just such a strange way of doing it in my mind because you
No,
have this one
listen,
person
I will
doing all the
say,
work.
as the person that does not have an assistant, I do it all by myself. There are times where I'm like, I wish I had an assistant to do the hard parts that I don't want to do. I can foil, I can apply color, I can cut hair all day long. The shit that I hate doing is having to wash color out and blow dry and clean up at the end. Like all the things that assistants do is the hardest part. It's the part that takes the most amount of time. It's the most straining on your body.
Right.
So, yeah, they should get paid more than they do.
It's a lot of work. And I'm sorry, I feel like I'm off topic, but it's
I know
just
I was gonna say I feel like we cut, but I mean,
like, but I just was like remembering me being an assistant for $10 an hour, which at the time was pretty good.
yeah.
Thinking back, I'm like, what the heck? I remember, and stylists deserve a break. Everyone deserves a break in that industry. I'm not saying that they don't, but I would be busting my ass running back and forth between people at the sink and, oh, this person's done in 2 minutes and this person's done in eight, and I need to go get a drink for this person and I need to sweep that floor because nobody's doing it. And I would go in the back room and people would just be standing there, just standing around having a drink or just like sitting and talking. And I'm like, I get it, but also I don't because what the
Yeah.
hell? That changes the client experience too, to like bring it back to our real topic. If you go to a salon and your stylist just disappears in the back room until an assistant brings you back down to their chair for you to like give the thumbs up at the end of the blow dry, like what kind of experience is that? Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. I wouldn't like it personally. Do you
Right.
think that this is maybe a little off topic too, but I keep seeing this everywhere how salons are getting so expensive. Everything's getting expensive. So, I mean, it is what it is. But do you think having assistants involved like affect that and like that just adds to the price increase or like it's
Uh,
unrelated?
that's a good question. I think that it's just I think they're correlated. I don't think people are necessarily charging more because they have an assistant. I think that people charge more because they get to a point where they're in high demand and they feel like
Right.
their skills and their experience is worth more. And
Hmm.
then because of that, they also then get assistance to help them.
Right.
So I
That
feel
makes
like it ends up being more expensive and then they usually will have an assistant too. But
right.
I feel like you have an assistant and that's allowing you to double or triple book, you're getting more people in the door. So you're making more money each day anyway. And you're also not always, I mean, I'm sure there are definitely salons where they have assistants and they're able to like work in a way where the client doesn't feel neglected and it's still a very high quality experience,
Right.
like upscale, luxurious, whatever. Um, but I almost feel like you should be charging more if you're one on one with your client because then they have your full attention, they have your
Yeah.
full time, you're not juggling them with anyone else, you're not handing them over to an assistant. It's literally just you and them. But if you're double booking, then I feel like that's like a more fast paced kind
Yeah.
of thing. And I feel like it shouldn't be as much,
I agree, but I mean,
but it doesn't usually work that way, which is
no.
interesting. I don't know.
I think it definitely affects the client. Some people probably don't care. Some people are like, I don't care who's doing my hair. I'm reading this book or I'm,
Yeah,
watching
there's
TikToks the whole time. It doesn't
definitely a lot
matter,
of clients that are like that, yeah. But
but there's definitely some that are like wanting to talk. I remember even in beauty school, like it's their social time, it seems like.
yeah, well, I had shared sometime over the summer, I think, like one of our first episodes of season 2. I had shared that story where I had a client that had emailed my boss talking all this shit. Like, I don't know if she was trying to get me fired or in some kind of trouble because I was double booked that day, which I never
Yeah.
do, but it was just like it was just crazy
Yeah. I
time.
remember you saying,
And she was and like I thought I did a pretty good job juggling my day, but she was so pissed that I was doing someone else's hair while her hair processed. God
yeah,
forbid, because she
yeah.
likes for me to sit
So,
there and talk with her the whole time.
yeah.
So, yeah, there's definitely clients like that.
I mean, you can't
Um,
please everyone either. Have you ever had a really bad wax?
I don't think so, luckily. I waxed my own upper lip once and burned myself.
Wow.
But no, I don't think I ever did, which is surprising because but
I
I guess
waxed you?
I always I always go to like the same like I go to chains usually.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's usually pretty consistent, even though I will go to like different people.
Yeah. I think having worked at European Wax, they're pretty consistent and pretty reliable. Everyone gets the same training. I have worked with people that I didn't agree with how they did things, and knowing some of the background of like what the company expects, like they want you to be on time. Like if you go overtime, it's frowned upon. It's really not allowed. So you end up with like hair left behind, which is what I found going as a client because I used to do my own, to be real, and I would have time to sit there and like get every hair. But I think the company puts so much pressure on the waxers that they have to go fast that they leave
Mhm.
hair, which a few times has pissed me off because I'm like, knowing how to wax. The one time I went and I was looking afterwards and she just broke every hair off of me. Like,
Oh.
and you can tell because it grows in faster. And I just knew that's what happened. Every hair, like the way she was waxing me, I guess, broke off every hair instead of pulling it out at the root. So that just
Which
wasn't a
defeats
good
the
wax.
purpose of getting a wax. Like you could have just
But
shaved then and got the same result.
exactly. So I was pretty pissed, especially like paying for it. You're like, why did I just pay 50, $60 for you to break off all my hairs? And like as a waxer, oh my God, I would be sweating trying to get everyone's hair out. I'd be like with my tweezers, like if you can't get it with wax, which you can't always. But that's the other thing, like I said, how they're so pressured to be on time. I worked with a girl who she was like the highest level of waxer. I forget what she would tell. She would tell people we had a 3 hair limit to tweeze. Like, sorry, I can't get every hair, and we're only allowed to tweeze 3, which
Oh,
is not true. So like
okay.
she's just lying to people and letting them walk out with hair that
And
she
she was
could have
like the
probably,
top one
yeah.
of
And she's just lying. She'd lie about products and stuff too, but like that, I was like, really? Are you being lazy or do you really care that much about timing? I'd be pissed. I'd be like, are you serious? I don't know. I've had a couple bad-ish waxes. But the one I didn't pay for, I was like a dummy, like a model for the people coming in. And it was her first one, so I have to give her that, but this one like lives in my brain because it
uh-oh.
was so traumatic. The sides, if you've ever gotten a Brazilian, there's some strips that are more difficult than others. Like the bikini line is manageable, it's not that painful, whatever. Once you get in towards the important stuff, it gets really painful. So like the 2 side strips, like the lip strips, are like the
Mm-hmm.
killers for most people. And so she lays the strip, everything seems fine. There's like 3 people in the room watching. The girl goes to pull the lip strip,
Oh God.
one of the worst strips ever. And I mean, it was slow motion. It was like you're supposed to rip like you're supposed to rip it fast. Like you're trying to punch. I think when they were training us, they said you got to punch the sky or like try to punch the ceiling. When I tell you, it was like she was like trying not to like I felt every hair come out of me. I was like, you're gonna want to pull faster than that. It
That
was
sounds awful.
it was bad.
I've had some bad, really bad hair experiences actually. Um, there's like two that stand out in my mind. I
Hmm.
remember one was when I was in either like middle school or like early high school. This was during my like emo scene punk phase, whatever you want to call it. But I had wanted to get I had like these little like side bang fringe kind of things and I wanted to bleach the bangs and then add some like hot pink magenta pieces in them, whatever.
Whoa.
So, yeah, it was a look. I went to this lady who she worked in a Regis, which is another like chain salon at the mall. I didn't have a bunch of color in my hair at that point, so it's not like it was a color correction or anything crazy. My natural color is dark, but it's not like my hair's fine. It lightens very, very easily.
Hmm.
I don't understand why I was in this salon, first of all, for so long. And I don't even know, I don't remember exactly like how she did it, but I remember my hair was breaking off. It was so over processed, but that wasn't even the worst part. The worst part was that she burned my scalp. I
Oh,
literally had flakes, like scabs on my scalp for
wow.
a few weeks after that. Then I remember when she was like washing the color out. I forget if it was like the toner or something, or she was putting more bleach on one spot or something, but she like literally like flicked color and it like landed on my eye And like
Oh,
I don't think it actually went in my eye, thank God, but like very, very close.
yikes.
And yeah, my hair was just fried. My scalp was burnt. It hurt so insane, especially now knowing what I know about hair. It's like,
Right.
I, what the fuck? Why? That should not have happened.
No, you should be
So
able to
there,
sue over that.
I,
Like a scalp
right.
injury.
But I didn't think anything of it because I don't think I noticed in the moment what had happened. Like, because when like you have bleach on your scalp, it's just hot and it's
Yeah.
itchy and whatever. And it was
Yeah.
like a few days later that I realized, like, wait, what is that on my scalp? And then I realized, oh, it's scabs.
Wow.
And then there was another time where I went to another chain salon. It was a holiday hair. She was flat ironing my hair, and I remember she literally caught the tip of my ear with her flat iron and burned me.
Oh
And
my
I had a
God.
big ass scab on the tip of my ear.
Reckless.
Yep. Yep. So I've been
Wow.
burned, gotten some injuries in salons a couple
FIFA.
times. I remember there
I
was
don't.
another time I was getting my nails done and I wanted them to be like squoval shape,
Mm-hmm.
like short, square, but like rounded edges. I don't like
Yeah.
to have like hard corners on my nails. And then I feel like it makes my fingers look like I have little chiclets. Like I don't like the look of like
Yeah.
super sharp square nails. So I say that to her. So she's doing them and I'm like, they look super, super square still. And I'm like, could you just like round off the corners a little bit more?
Yeah.
So he does it a little bit and I'm like, they're still super square. And I'm like, I'm sorry, just a little bit more. And she's like, and like every time I would have to ask her, she'd be like, and she would be like filing my nails like so hard and so rough. And she
Oh
just
God.
was being such a bitch and was acting so annoyed. Like, God forbid, I'm sorry that I'm just
That you're doing it wrong.
right. Like, I'm paying money for this. Like, I'd like
Yeah.
it to be what I'm asking for. And yeah, that was not a good moment for customer service. And then I ended up going, like, they still weren't what I wanted. So I went home and I had to file them more.
I've done that. I filed them at home. Since we've both had like fake nails, like I've had dip, I've had acrylic, I've had Gel X. How do they usually like take it off for you? Have you ever had like a really strange way of them taking it off?
I don't know. I mean, some people will soak it, which is what I prefer because that's
I
a lot
prefer
more
that too.
gentle. But most places, I feel like they will just use the drill
Yeah.
and like file it off. Where I work now, which is where I've been getting my nails done recently, she actually just uses like a hand file and like she'll remove it that way and like soak it and like she does it
Yeah,
very she's really gentle. She doesn't even have a drill.
that's what I prefer.
So
One
yeah, that me
time
too.
they were literally cracking my nails off, like cracking them with like one of those
With the
tools,
cuticle cutters.
cracking them off. And I was like, ow, like I know there's a better way to do this, and you're hurting me. And then another time, this was kind of recently, this was probably last year. I must have had dip on or so, or no, I had Gel X on. She soaked me, and then she's like, I told them it was Gel X, but maybe they didn't know what I was talking about, or they didn't use it. I don't think so. I'm not sure what happened, but I'm sitting there, and she pulls out a Metro card from her wallet,
Oh no. Uh-huh.
a New York City Metro card, and is like going under trying to get it off. And I was like,
Oh my God, that sounds so painful.
and I'm always thinking, what the hell are
I've
these
seen
people
that
thinking?
before though. I've seen videos of both things, like using the cuticle cutters and the little
It
credit
hurts.
card trick. It hurts and like that can't be good or okay for your
It's
nails.
so damaging. I remember it took me a while to recover after both of those things, but more recently I can remember it. My nails were like paper, like tissue paper thin. It was so bad. I was like,
Ugh.
yeah,
Have
yay.
you ever gotten anything waxed at a nail salon?
when I was in high school, and they took about half my eyebrow, and that was traumatic. And I remember, I don't know, that was probably like one of the first times I had gotten waxed, like somewhere. And after that, I went to Ulta. I made my mom take me to Ulta and pay like $20+ I don't know how much it was. And I was so traumatized. This lady, she drew out exactly what she was going to take off with like a crayon. So I could see like that she wasn't going to take half my brow.
Mhm.
It was it was a long appointment.
I totally understand that though. Like sometimes when you have a client that's like that and they're like, "Well, you're not going to do this, right? Like you're not going to take too much. You're not going to and like they're questioning every little thing you do. It can be a little bit frustrating. So it's like, yes, like we did the consultation already. We talked about this. Like, can you just trust the process and shut the hell up and wait till I'm done? But at the same time, like, if they had an experience like that, I can also understand. So I try as a hairstylist now, I try to be, more understanding and think about experiences people have had before coming to me.
Yeah.
I think I've gotten my eyebrows waxed a few times at nail salons, like, just the typical kind of like in and out, like Asian salons.
Yeah.
And there have been so many times where when I was younger, I don't think I really like paid attention or knew to think anything of it. But I've noticed now how many times I will see them double dip. Like they will take the stick, get the wax, put the wax on your face, and then use the same stick and dip it back in again. That is so unsanitary and against state board everywhere. Like you are not
Yeah.
supposed to do that. You're supposed to throw the stick out each time and use a fresh stick to dip in. But I think about it and I'm like, some of these places are offering body waxing and like Brazilians. So like you're over here getting your brows or your upper lip waxed and with this wax that they're double dipping. Somebody's butt hairs could be in that wax and it's
Ew.
going on your lip.
Not to mention like blood. Like people bleed during waxes, and it's
Yeah,
normal. So there's literally blood involved, and you're double dipping.
so
Or like,
gross.
or if you even want to talk about freaking blisters or whatever, people have cold sores on their lip, cold sores on your somewhere else.
True.
It's so common. So it's like, how many people are like, how is that even allowed? How is that?
Oh my
How would
god,
you even do that?
it's so
It
gross.
makes me sick. And working at European Wax, you guys can rest assured if you're going to European Wax, they're not double dipping. I would have just a trash bag full, like to the brim of sticks. Like,
Yeah. I went to European Wax Center for years and years and years, and now I've been going to Waxing the City, which is another chain,
yeah,
for a couple years, and I've never seen anyone like they're on it with hygiene and sanitation, and they're really good
that's
about that.
that's one thing about the chains that I really feel safe there. Because they
Yeah.
have to. I mean, across the board, every location has to do things the same. So you know what you're getting, and they take it really seriously. Because that's terrifying.
It is. It's really gross. What about the nail salons that do lash extensions and they take like cluster lashes and put nail
And just,
glue? Uh,
oh,
yeah.
Jesus. I've never
I
fell into that trap, but
Me neither, but like back when I used to do lashes, that was like my worst nightmare. I was horrified whenever I would see people doing that.
oh my God, yeah.
I just don't understand how there's like so many salons that can get away with doing stuff that's like so clearly against state board.
I know. And it's funny after beauty school, like nail salons, you really notice if they're using a file on you that's very obviously used. Because
Right.
again, microscopic amounts of blood can like come out of your skin and be on that file, and they're filing someone else and they get their skin, or they don't sanitize their stuff. Like, where's your UV little machines? Or like, are you opening a new pack of whatever?
Right.
a lot of the time it was no where I was going. So now I take it really serious, and especially like the foot baths and stuff. Like I like when there's a plastic baggie in there to line it.
Yeah, me too. Well, the one salon that I worked at, straight out of beauty school that you know well, um, that's how it was there. She didn't want us throwing out anything. We reused everything, including processing caps,
What?
the little foamy flip-flops that people you give people after a
No,
pedicure. Uh-huh.
no
Oh, I'm
way.
not joking. Yeah, we would dump all that shit into the sink, and we would just, like, wash it, soak it in, like, ship shape, and that was it. Reuse it.
Wow.
Cheap as hell.
Yeah, you
So
can't be cheap.
disgusting. So
Yeah, ew.
disgusting.
Well, that's why
Mhm.
it's like certain salon experiences are bad just because of customer service or whatever, but that stuff matters too. Like I could get the best customer service, but I look around me and it's like filthy or they're not doing things the proper way,
Right.
and that's gonna change my mind about things immediately. I
How do
had to
you
do freaking
feel
everything.
about, like, places where you have to pay a deposit up front first or, like, put your card on file, cancellation policies, like, that kinda thing?
I understand to a degree, like if someone's booked for a full highlight, whatever, and they don't show, you're out a lot of money. And a lot of time you can't book that in, last minute. So I feel like it's good to secure something, some form of payment, or like make them want to show up. Like, hey, I've got your $50, come to your appointment.
Right.
But I feel like there's places that take it a little too far, for sure.
Yeah. I know that, like, my Botox the place I used to go to in Pennsylvania, she would like, if you were booking online, you had to pay $100 deposit in order to even book an appointment,
Right.
and then it was non-refundable, so if you chose to not show up, you were out your money, and I don't know, I mean, I would do it because I knew, like, "Okay, I'm definitely showing up to this appointment, I'm gonna pay the money anyway, so, like, I'll just do it," but I don't know, I kinda hate that. It's, like, a little scary to pay, especially that much money for something that you haven't even gotten done yet.
Yeah.
And
That's a little tough.
especially if you're gonna be, like it's gonna be your first time booking an appointment with
Right.
that person, it's like, "Well, how do I even know that I'm gonna like it?" Like, that's a lot.
Yeah. That doesn't seem fair. Actually, that just reminded me, I forgot that lashes count as like a beauty service. I was going to this, it's kind of like a chain. There's multiple locations up here, like three, maybe even four. And I pretty much always went to the one. And the one time I made an appointment and I showed up, and it was a location I don't usually go to, but they had the time I wanted, whatever. I walk in and I was like, hey, it's, my name and the time and whatever. And they're like, we don't have you. That's weird because they told me to come here specifically. I was following one of the girls that I liked how she did it. They said she was going to be at this location. I said, great, I'll be there for her.
Mhm.
Then they look into my thing. They said, oh, you're supposed to be over 15 minutes away at this location. I was like, okay. I go over there. The girl's not even working today. And no
Oh
one told,
my god.
no one told me. And every single location was about 15 minutes or more from me, my apartment. So they were like, can you come in, another time? I was like, you just had me at one place. You told me she was here and now she's not here and you don't have time for me for anyone. What what's going on here? And then another time, the same place, I was seeing this one girl consistently. I don't think we had any beef. We didn't have any problems. I tipped her well. I was normal. I was on time. And it's lashes, so I didn't really talk. I just kind of laid there. And the one time she goes, hey, your lash artist is moving out of the state, so you're gonna have to switch. I was like, oh shoot. Like, okay, whatever. Well, then my friend that went to the same salon and saw the same girl was told that she was getting surgery. and wasn't going to be there to do her lashes that day. So I was like, that's weird. They told me she was moving out of state. Okay. And then when I would look to see who I could book with, her name was there. I kind of want to look now actually to see if her name was there. I was like, why are you
Interesting.
lying?
That's really weird, right? That's
Isn't
super,
that whack?
super weird. Right, and if there was, like, some reason that she wanted to, like, weed out certain clients or cut back or whatever, I feel like there's a different approach you could take to that rather than just, like,
Yeah.
making up some weird lie. Because then
Lies.
that's so awkward, like, obviously, you're gonna see her name on the booking, that if they have online booking, or you might run into her
Right. Not only that, but my
sometime.
friend was seeing her and got a different excuse. So we were both like, what the fuck? And I don't want to sound any type of way. It's just been my experience. Like my appointments have been fucked up at this place multiple times. And I'm not gonna say the name, so I'm not like bashing it or anything. Well, I am bashing it,
Yeah.
but you're not gonna know who I'm talking about.
No, it's just sounds
That
super unprofessional.
that happened to me at that place. My appointments were messed up. My billing was messed up. One time it did work in my favor though, and I probably got a couple services for free because they couldn't figure out my like subscription or whatever I paid for several,
Like prepay?
yeah, like whatever, prepaid
Like a
for whatever. And the one day I go in and I was like, "Oh, I think this is my last appointment." And they were like, "No, you're all set." And I was like, "Oh, okay, great." And I don't want to sound rude or mean or anything. I don't know where they found the girls to work the front desk. I don't know where they found them because that's where the problem lies. Like, it was painful to check out, to make an appointment, to talk to, like, it was like they found them at a home for incompetent receptionists. And I'm sorry, but like, that is true. And my friend that used to go there would say the same thing. She'd be like, "What just happened?" Like, I just tried to call and it was unreal. And if I ever went to get my lashes done again, they did a decent job, but like that makes it almost not worth it. Like the customer service part, the unprofessional part, the
Yeah.
wasting my time part was a problem for me. So I'm like,
Well, it's
have
interesting
you?
because, like, I always say I think that the entire client experience is just as important, if not even a little more important than the actual, like, result of what you're getting done. Like, for hairstylists, for example, it's like your actual technical skills are not as important as everything else. Because you could be doing this bomb, amazing, beautiful hair, but if you're, like, soaking them every time at the shampoo bowl, putting super cold water and not asking them if the temperature is okay, if, like, your stuff's always dirty, if you're, like, always rushing or running late or messing up their appointment time and, like, all that kinda stuff, they're probably
Right,
gonna stop coming to you eventually because there's someone else that also does great hair that's gonna make the rest of their experience better.
right. Like
So,
if you suck, yeah, exactly. I'm looking up to see if I could find her name because now I'm interested.
that's funny. I had, speaking of lashes, there was a girl that I used to go to for a while, and she was amazing. She always did such a great job. My lashes looked so good, and
Hmm.
I had no complaints, like, she was always on time, like, no issues with my appointments or with scheduling, but I feel so bad to say this, but she had horrible breath,
Oh
and
no.
it was every single time. Like, the first time I was like, "Oh, okay, maybe, like, she's just having an off day, maybe she just ate something beforehand." But then
Right,
it was every single time, and I was like, "Oh my god, I can't stand this." So, like, I would purposely not talk during the appointment, so she wouldn't be talking, like, right into my face, but she
right,
was also, like, a mouth breather, so, like, she's blowing her breath in my face the whole entire time anyway, so, like, I would be laying there literally trying to, like, hold my like, take as, like, little breaths as possible. The place itself was, like, didn't always it didn't look super clean, like, you could tell, like, she's
right.
not deep cleaning that shit ever.
Yeah, that sucks. But it's legit. I feel like it's legitimate.
And it's
I
like
mean,
you can't like what do you do? You can't say something like that to someone, especially if it's like it's clearly a regular thing. So it's like that's just
yeah.
her. That's what am I gonna, you know?
Yeah, what do you say? Like, hey
Not
girl,
like a one-time thing, like, "Oh, you got something in your teeth right there." Like, it's like, "Oh, you always have really bad breath. Like, do you brush your teeth? What's going on?"
right. I'm like, no, you can't say that. Yeah,
Poor
I'm
thing.
interested to know if other people have similar stories or worse experiences, horror stories themselves.
Yes,
Um,
please tell us your bad experiences, whether it was, like, something traumatic, like getting your head burned or just bad customer service, or, like, if you stopped going to a particular person, why? What made you
yeah.
stop? Or what are just
Oh,
some
yeah.
things in general that, like, annoy you about salons and, like, beauty professionals?
Yeah. I'd love to hear it.
Me too. I feel like we could do
I'll
a part 2 to this because there's
absolutely.
much to say.
I just have one more thing to add. I have beef with this.
Okay.
Salon hours.
Mm,
Major beef. There's a salon. This is the one I used to work at actually. And if you could pull this off, congratulations, good for you. But you're limiting yourself so much. She changed the hours from, normal salon hours up until like 7 p.m. during the week and on Saturdays, whatever, to Monday through Friday, 9 or 10 a.m. to 5.
yeah.
Like,
I know some stylists that do that. They're like, "I don't wanna work weekends, I don't wanna work weeknights." That's great, but, like, this is the field that you chose, and a lot of your clientele has
cannot come.
off in the evenings during the week and on the weekend. So, like, great for you. I mean, if you have clients that have untraditional schedules or work from home, whatever,
Great.
can take off of work for their appointment, great. But
But the flexibility,
yeah,
like, people deserve to have time off. I get it. But, like, what? What? You're not being flexible at all for your clients. You're limiting them and you, really.
yeah. But I mean, I guess if that's what they want to do, then and they can pull it off, I mean, more power to them, I guess.
But on that note,
Yeah.
let's hear your, salon beef, beauty industry beef.
Yeah, and if you guys want us to
Uh,
do a part 2 on this topic because
yeah,
there's so much to say.
we could share your stories too. So let us know. We'll put
Definitely.
like a comment box on Instagram stories.
Yeah, or leave it in the comments if you're watching on YouTube, you can leave them in the
Oh,
comments
yeah,
here under this video, but don't forget to go check out our merch.
so exciting.
We will be
Yeah.
keeping an eye out for your posts. Well, we will see you guys next Friday with a new episode.
Yeah, TTYL.